Hey guys, we're going to be doing an XRP technical analysis video today, and we're going to be looking at the lower time frames and also the high time frames. We're going to be seeing if we can get this bounce and continue trending upwards, or if we're going to go back down. And it's going to be an update video from last week's video. If you guys watch this channel, you would have seen that we basically got the bounce that we were expecting from that critical area from the bulls, and Bitcoin has been going up as well. But I'm also going to show you guys something very interesting that I saw on TradingView, which is basically this. Getting right into it, you would have seen that on this channel that we were in this falling wedge for XRP, but Magic Poop Cannon basically uploaded this on TradingView, and he analyzed some very interesting stuff actually. If you guys haven't noticed, or if you guys didn't know, this is the accumulation distribution indicator basically, and as you can see, we were zoning in this area for a very long time, and eventually we came up, hit this resistance, didn't go up, came back down, and then we finally broke out of this resistance. And this is a very bullish sign, because as you can see, the trend is basically down right now. At least the price action is going right down, but the trend on the accumulation distribution indicator is slowly trending up. Actually, not even that slow. It's going up very nicely, which is a very bullish sign. And as you can see, the MACD basically 1, 2, 3, 4. It's basically slowly trending up. And if you guys have watched the other videos, you would have seen that we gave 16-cent targets. Also, the lowest of this falling wedge is about 15 cents and 14 cents, which was our targets. It was 14 and 16 cents, the critical areas that we talked about the bulls have to hold, and this is exactly what he has on his chart. But basically, any stock or any asset, when the accumulation goes up like this, it's a very bullish sign. So I don't know if I agree with the fact that we're going to go up just like this. We're not just going to moon up to $1 and then come back down, but we're going to analyze that though. And this is a 0.618 that is also drawn here, so we're going to be talking about that, and we have really talked about that. We're going to need the whole market to end up doing really well, and Bitcoin to end up doing really well. We're going to have to go out of the bear market for us to basically end up pushing up to these levels. If Bitcoin goes up, then we could possibly see these targets, but right now one of the only bullish signs is this right now. And as you can see, this is a bullish pattern, and it has a 68% chance of pushing higher. But if we do end up breaking out of it to the downside, it's going to be very bearish. So getting into the charts, basically, we're going to be looking at XRP USD, and we're going to be looking at we'll get the super waves on here as well. So the 1 hour time frame had some bearish divergence that has basically been playing out. If my computer would hurry up and load this. Okay, wow, now it's loading a lot of them. Alrighty, so we had some bearish divergence here. As you can see, you could see it on the RSI as well, but we're going to be looking at this here. So that's bearish divergence from this part to this part, bearish divergence. And it didn't really play out too much. We came back down and we basically found support on this pivot, which is very bullish, and we had a nice bounce right here. So we're going to be seeing if we can keep pushing up. Basically looking at the lower time frames, the 1 hour, it's coming down, and we're going to find some support here on the stocks possibly. As you can see, there's a lot of confluence in this area. There's a lot of confluence here as well, so we could find a bounce here just like we did here. We could bounce very nicely and go back up, or we can come back down. As you can see, we've actually lost this EMA, but on the 4 hour time frame, we're basically finding support on it, or we could find support on it. This is the RSI, and we're coming back down, and this EMA could potentially give us pretty good support for a push up in the price action as well. But right now we're seeing some downside for Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin could possibly go to around 7,500, 7,450, maybe even a little bit lower than that. But then we're actually looking at those 7.88K targets for this weekend and this new week coming up. So if Bitcoin were to do that, then we'd be able to definitely push up for XRP as well, and it'd be very good. But if we do get basically stopped there, it would be pretty bearish. But let's look at the 4 hour stocks. They're actually toning back down as well. As you can see, they're coming back down. We could possibly see a bounce here. As you can see, there's a lot of confluence right there. So we could see a bounce in this area and then keep pushing up. There's also confluence in these areas, so that's good. And then looking at, that's basically it for the 4 hour. There's not really any divergence or anything like that. For the lower time frames, I don't think there's any divergence either. On the 30-minute time frame, there is actually some bearish divergence. So we're going to look at that. Where is that? Right here. From this peak to this peak, there's some bearish divergence, but it actually looks like, yeah, there's some bullish divergence here as well. So if you can see right here, there was some hidden bullish divergence, and from this peak to this peak, there's actually some hidden bullish divergence, which goes inside there actually. But yeah, so that's actually some hidden bullish divergence. That's very, very nice. I could basically keep pushing us up, but as you can see, we found this is a pivot right now. And if you can see, we basically broke up, we broke down, and then we finally broke up, retested it, and we've gone back up. So this is a very good area of confluence, at least for this week. It's been a very good area for confluence. These change every single week. If you guys didn't know these areas, or basically, we can look at the one from the other day, but I think we looked at it last week in last week's video, so we won't do that. Basically, looking at this, we're going to be talking about his $1 target. And if we want to go to this $1 target, we've got a lot of resistance here. We've talked about this in other videos, but as you can see, this is an area that's been big resistance for the bulls basically, and it was support. As you can see, we found some support here, at least temporary support, but we just couldn't push past it. We just could not push past it, and we stayed in this area for a very long time. It used to be resistance back here as well, as you can see. So if we were to, as you can see here, around the same area, just the bottom that we're sitting at now, basically, it was basically hard resistance, and we didn't push past until we had the bull market, and this was a great push up. Until we had the bull market, though, we couldn't push past. And if you can look here, we've basically been in this area for 535 days almost. We've been in this area of confluence for the bulls and the bears. So the bulls finally lost it. We're in a bear market. We're in a bear market for the entire market. It's not just XRP basically. But as you can see, we are finding some upside here, and we should see a bounce like we talked about. We basically called the bottom, and we have seen a bounce here, but not the bounce that we would like to see yet. So we need Bitcoin to push, and we do have lower targets for Bitcoin. As you can see here, we're just looking very bearish, guys. If you can look on, let's look on the weekly, for example. We'll put these, this shows a lot better on Bitcoin actually, but I'm going to show you guys on this. So basically the 10 MA and the 21 EMA are good areas of confluence. So we'll get rid of all of these, and I'll leave the 10 and the 21. So the 10 simple moving average and the 21 exponential moving average. If you can see, we actually recently had a death cross here. After we pushed down and we broke down from these 50-cent areas, and then we came down at around 30 cents, we had a death cross here. And then we found our bottom temporarily at 20 cents. So we've already dropped 10 cents after this cross. And this is a very bearish cross. It basically signifies, the 21 EMA basically signifies a bear and a bull market. So if you're under it, you're basically in a bear market. And this is like this in every market basically. It's a very important EMA or moving average in general. As you can see here, we had a death cross of it, and we ended up finding basically the bottom here, and then we had a bull cross. It was basically a fake out and a death cross straight away, but we've just had a death cross as well here. So the weekly time frame, it takes a bit for it to turn around. It's not just going to turn around, and we should see more downside because of this. And there's a lot of other things that we've talked about in the past videos that would basically prove to us that we're going to see more downside. As you can see here, we're below all the major moving averages, all the major EMAs. We're really not seeing anything here. For the daily, something good that I saw before basically is, we'll get rid of these so you guys can see it. Basically on the daily time frame, you can see that we've just pushed past the 10 MA, which is pretty bullish, which is pretty good. Not necessarily bullish because we've got this, the 21 EMA at 23 cents. So this is exactly where I think that we'll be looking at, about 23 cents if our Bitcoin targets are met. So if we do actually end up pushing up and we can get past the critical point of around 8,000 and find some support there, and even if we do push up there, we're basically going to see a very nice push from XRP as well. But right now, finding support on the 10 moving average is very good because we could see some more upside to around here. So the next really tough resistance would be 23 cents. not much else there. But if we look, basically, it's not the moving averages in any market line up with the price action usually. So as you can see, the moving average is right there, the 21 EMA is right there, and there's resistance there as well with the actual candles right here. So as you can see, these candles right here, and there's confluence past there as well with this area, with this 23% area that I'm talking about. So it's going to be tough resistance to actually break through. It was support. As you can see, we had a very nice bounce from it. This was support, hit it perfectly, came right up. These wicks don't matter, it closes matter, and basically came right up and had a very nice run to 31 cents or decent run to 31 cents and came right back down. And now we're below all the major moving averages and the EMAs, which is pretty bearish. And basically we were actually rejected at the 200 EMA, which is orange here, or the purple, sorry, which is very bearish. If you're below the 200 EMA, 200 MA, it's usually a bearish sign. And as you can see, the white is the 200 simple moving average, the orange or the purple is the 200 exponential moving average. So it's not looking very good for XRP, just like Bitcoin, just like all the other coins. It's not just XRP, it's basically the market isn't looking very good right now. So we've got to be very careful. We've got to be looking for the right basically plays. We can't be holding trades in this market, guys. Like, this is what I keep telling you. If you keep holding trades, you're just going to lose money over and over again. It's just not worth it when you can take your profits, especially if you're leverage trading. And so we're going to look at this. We're going to see if possible bounce areas. So as you can see, we've basically bounced off a 0.886. We're going to do it off this high. So yeah, we've had a perfect bounce of the 0.886 Fibonacci, and we've come back up as we talked about in the last video. So we are going up to a very, very hard area of resistance. So let's see if we can push past it. I don't believe we can. We've just gotten some crosses here actually as well, which isn't very good, but we'll see how that plays out. But at least a 23-cent target. So if you are long, which I'm not recommending you really long it right now just because of this, but if you are long, especially on leverage, go ahead and take your profits on the 33-cent level. As you can see, the stocks are actually turning up on the 1-day time frame as well, which is pretty nice. On the 2-day time frame, let's look. We have actually turned up as well. That's very good. That's very good. When you see it turn around like this or curve around like this, it's very good. And we've just gotten a bullish cross here, got a bearish cross, and then a bullish cross there. That's good. And then we're going to look at 3-day. 3-day time frame looking not as good here. It's actually turned back around and crossed back down, so that's not very good. We found some, oh, actually we're below it, so that's going to be some resistance at the EMA, at the white line. We're going to look at the 2-day RSI. The 2-day RSI, we have actually found support, so that's pretty good. So we've pushed past the EMA and we're going to find support on it hopefully, which is a good sign. Every time you see that, that's a very good sign. The 0.618 Fibonacci, the golden pocket, is at the 24-cent level. So that's good. And the 21 EMA is actually a little bit higher up there. Yeah, and that's basically it from last video. There's nothing much to say. I just wanted to give you guys an update, and I thought this was very interesting. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and give it a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell so you can get notifications every time I upload. And I will see you guys in the next one.